Most virtual reality headsets these days comes with a controller, but that controller doesn't really immerse you in the game. It just sort of lets you navigate around the environment. This glove from HaptX, however, promises to give you a full tactile experience in virtual reality. This is so weird! Oh my gosh, let's try this one.
So we are showing off the first prototype of the HaptX Glove today. This is the first wearable based on our HaptX technology that lets you touch and feel objects in VR. And we really focused on haptics because we felt it was the missing piece of VR. Even 4 or 5 years ago, it was clear that the technology was there for immersing our eyes and ears, but it just wasn't for immersing the rest of our body. You were kind of a ghost in VR at best. You were a pair of floating hands represented by controllers. Most wearables out there in the VR space right now don't have haptic feedback. They're motion capture only. And those that do have haptic feedback have what we call symbolic haptic feedback. So the most common kind of haptic feedback today is what's called vibrotactile feedback. It's the same sort of vibrating motor you'd find in a cell phone or game controller. And when you touch something, it kind of buzzes or rumbles. So we set out to create something that, instead of having that sort of symbolic feedback where you feel buzzes or small shocks, you actually feel realistically the shape and texture and size and weight of objects.
Oh, hello. It feels like a mouse. Hello.
The primary technology behind our platform is a microfluidic smart textile that we call HaptX Skin. I've got some samples of it here. So we can make this material in a variety of sizes and shapes. This, for example, is a panel that's sized to go on your palm. You can think of this like a haptic display. So just like a visual display, it has pixels, but instead of changing color, those pixels change their pressure. And by changing their pressure over time, we can create a variety of sensations on your skin, from edges to shapes to the size of objects to their texture. And they're also light and thin and inexpensive enough that they can be integrated into wearable devices. And we've developed a set of techniques for bonding this to fabric, and then it can simply be sewn into gloves, suits, vests, really any kind of wearable you can imagine. We've already started experimenting with larger scale devices. Fundamentally, the skin can be made in any size, any shape today. It simply needs to be integrated into a variety of different wearables. We're starting with the gloves for a few reasons. One, the hands are definitely the part of the body we use most to interact with the world. And so from that perspective, it's a logical place to start. But also, it's a little bit of a technological stress test. The hands are the most complex part of the body when it comes to haptics. The skin on your fingers in particular is very, very, very sensitive. And so we feel confident if we can apply our technologies to the hand, given that they're designed to scale to the full body, it will be easier to apply them to the full body.
No, there's a lot of you guys. What happened, man? Can I crush them? Yeah, I can crush them. It feels like I'm crushing almost like a can. It's amazing. And then when I'm squishing this cloud, it feels like very soft and squeezable.
The HaptX Skin is the most important part of the system. It's what gives you a cutaneous sensation that actually comes from your skin. And that's most of what lets your brain know you're touching a real object, the shape and size and texture. The one thing that won't do is it won't stop your fingers, for example, from going through an object when you touch it, or it won't, say, apply a heavy weight if you grab a virtual barbell to your arm. That comes from receptors in your muscles and ligaments, not your skin. And so you need something that can actually apply a force, a net force to, say, your finger. And that comes from an exoskeleton that's embedded in our glove that's actually based on the same microfluidic actuation technology as our skin, just applied in a different way. So with an actuator that's just 5 or 6 grams, we can apply 5 or 6 pounds of force to your finger. And that's enough to give you a sense of really grabbing a solid object.
The rocks and trucks feel very rigid, much firmer than the cloud and the wheat. You mentioned a few use cases already, but why don't you go through the potential use cases for this kind of glove and the kind of technology?
We're not starting with consumer level applications. This is not something that, we are starting to ship our first products next year, but it's not something that you're going to find under your Christmas tree. There are 3 primary application areas we're focused on: training and simulation across defense, industrial, and medical applications, design and manufacturing, largely for automotive and aerospace initially, and of course location-based entertainment for kind of high-end theme park and arcade style entertainment experiences.
All in all, the HaptX Glove experience really points to a truly immersive virtual reality future. For more, go to Engadget.com.